Hello and welcome to the set of the scouting grounds from the Smite Draft League. We are here in the Divine Division. This is our lowest division. That doesn't mean that it's only bad players, though. I still think some of these players can show off. I am Jeffrey. I'm here together with Fenix, with Anthony on the camera. Thank you, Anthony, in advance. Take us away, Fenix.
On the left-hand side of your screen, you will see Dark Crystal. It's kind of funny. You can know that they're Dark Crystal because of Darknms, all the way at the bottom of your screen right there. And then on the right-hand side, a Marvel fanatic, Howard the Duck, will be standing on the Chaos side of the map. We're already looking at some really good bands. We got Maui, Thanatos, Mercury, Alquang. Thanatos, a very scary god, I can say myself as a player of Thanatos. And obviously, Landfall from Maui can change a fight within 2 seconds.
For sure, as we see the last two bands coming out, which are Acne and Vulcan, which means this is the first game during the entirety of the scouting grounds. We don't see a single magical ADC ban out in the first banning phase. Do you think they're going to be picked up right here?
I would hope so. I mean, Freya's open, Oleron's open, and Solo's open. That's a very, well, obviously, Kakoran's open. That's not your mage ADC that you would expect to be in the first pick. Someone obviously feels comfortable on the Fenrir instead of one of those mage ADCs, but I expect that there is one right there, the Soul ADC.
Well, yeah, with all of them being open, I guess it doesn't have to be that much of a priority with all of them being so good. Fenrir, however, is maybe, like, except for the mage ADCs, the best god in the game right now, in my opinion. You can do so much with him. If you do put him in solo, for example, you go to mitigation build, you just take no damage whatsoever, and you just press 2 for 80 power, which is absolutely insane. However, we do see Sol and Kukulin may be stolen by the other team. Sol is locked in now. So would you think the other team is picking, like, for example, a Freya or Kronos here on the other team?
It's very possible. You probably want to match something up with this Fenrir now because Fenrir can bring a lot to the battlefield. Obviously, that 80 power with his 2 is a really cool mechanic of his kit right now. But he can bite someone and pull them a mile away and then kill them in a different place. It's like a little treat that Fenrir can have. So I would hope that you might want to pick. Well, there we didn't even say that god's name, but Kronos. Oh, we're gonna pick a physical ADC and a magical ADC is what Dark Crystal says. And the Kronos is a smart pick with a Fenrir because that in the mouth, if he's just holding the enemy god in his mouth just alone right there, Kronos can just combo him and kill him really easily.
Yeah, with both Uller and Kronos here, well, Kronos is still being hovered, it's not quite locked in. Uller, however, is being insta-locked there. I would have actually preferred to see maybe like a support pick. Well, I guess I'm a psychic. I would have loved to see like maybe a gap to prevent the hard counter against the Fenrir. But Fafnir being locked here, while Kronos, I think Kronos was a good pick. But I guess I can't. I don't know what their thought process was. Susano on the other side is also a pretty high class jungler right now. What do you think about Susano?
Has a hard time against the Fenrir in the early game because of Brutalize. Brutalize is, its ability does not allow him to get knocked up. He can just immediately press the 3 button on his keyboard, and Susano loses 2 abilities: the pool and his ultimate, that big tornado that can come out of him. Um, so it's very difficult to play against the Fenrir in the early game. But that being said, in the late game, Susano will bring a lot more to a team fight than a Fenrir can because Fenrir has a more single target, objective minded kit, while Susano has a very large ability kit.
All right. As we see the Guan Yu being banned out, and now Orsai taking their fine time, like thinking about what should we ban here. What do you think about this? Well, there goes Capri. Capri, we saw Capri on in the hands of Lucent, said earlier, being absolutely massive. I think it's a pretty decent ban. You don't like to play against, well, the ultimate, the revive, as long as you don't have an execute. And with both Ao Kuang and Thanatos being banned out, you only really have Achilles in the game left. So I think Capri's a good ban. What do you think about a Capri ban?
Yeah, you kind of mentioned the executes here, which is what you need to be worried about when it comes to picking a Kepri. And so with those gods still being in the game, the only one being Achilles right now, Kepri is just a smart ban just to go ahead and say, let's not have this revive. And as you said, we've seen in the past that he can bring a lot to the table. It's not just a big beetle. That's a very scary big beetle in the dual line.
Yeah, the Huckbuck is nothing to be scuffed around. We see a Hepwa ban just coming out now. So what? Well, I mean, Hebwa has been absolutely massive season 10 so far. In the end of season 9, he was also picked up quite a bit. But with already having a Susanoo who can bully Hebwa pretty easily, what do you think about Hebwa, Ben?
Yeah, I'm surprised it got that far. As you were saying, it's a massive pick in the end of last season and now in the beginning of this season. Hubwa was and is very scary. So I'm very surprised that we have only we're into the second round of picks now, and there's still a Freya on the map, and there was still almost a Hubwa on the map, which are two very dominant gods. But we got to keep in mind this is scouting grounds, which means people are playing to their comfort, but also trying to fit into their team comp and trying to figure that out. So we're not just picking Freya just to pick Freya. We're picking gods to, you know, impress the captains and be able to get drafted by another team. Well, speaking of funny gods to pick, hug bugs, but this is not a hug bug. That is a dangerous turtle.
That's a big Japanese turtle running at you. That's Kuzenbo being locked in. That's not a god we see all too often. And finally the Kronos gets locked in with Shiva being hovered. Shiva being locked now, so that's all the side complete. But let's talk about this Kuzenbo. That's not a pick we see too often. What do you think about Kuzenbo?
If you can play Kuzenbo, you can be a second carry in the dual lane. Is what the honest answer is, and especially in the first five levels. With the push that Kuzenbo can bring to that side of the map against the Fenrir, sorry, the Fafnir, and the most likely, I'm gonna assume that that's an Uller ADC, but it might be a Kronos as well. That can bring a lot of danger to those two gods. They cannot step up to that wave, or else they will go down to half their health bar immediately in this meta.
All right, thank you so much for your insight. The themes, the teams have been confirmed now. We know who's going to face off against who. All overall, who would you give the better comp to?
I think I would give any comp with a Fenrir in the comp a better comp. So I would say that Dark Crystal on the left side of your screen is for sure your better comp as of right now.
All right, thank you so much, Phoenix. I've been Jeffrey, Anthony on cam. These are your picks for the first game, so let's head right into that first game. See you soon. And welcome to game 1 of Dark Crystal versus Howard the Duck. We see the dual lanes going for different starts here, with Kuzenbo and Sol going for the more traditional XP camp and green camp only strat, while we see Fafnir and Kronos actually putting all three together. I have been saying this a lot, but I am not a fan of the all three at the same time camp strat. As you see, Kronos already below half HP. What do you think about this start?
Yeah,
Phoenix.
one's safer, one's not as safe. It's kind of depends on what you want to do. Obviously, in this situation, you can see that Kronos is below half health, as you just mentioned. There's no win, no loss, but you can see that it's probably a good 400 health difference coming into this lane right now, with the Kuzenbo being barely unhealthy and the Sol being also barely unhealthy. So it is a big difference when you're trying to decide. But Kuzenbo already being super aggressive here.
Kuzenbo just doing Kuzenbo things, and that's also different. Kronos already popped both of his health potions by now. He cannot sustain at all, like in the early game right now. Being poked by the Sol like this Sol should be doing, I think this start is horrible. But as long as people keep doing it, people keep doing it. We see Bark here in the jungle actually looking for an early cringe gank on top of the dual lane, while Hay is already so low HP. We see Dark a little bit farther away also looking at it, but with Hay and Almond being in the tower, I think this should be fine. In the solo lane though, we see a bit of a skirmish. What do you think of the solo lane matchup?
Not a poke out that I expect to be happening. I mean, Opal is unlucky to be getting pushed out here as a Kakolan. That's not what you want to see. You want to see your Shiva getting pushed out. But it seems like the maps are kind of tilted right now. The Shiva is pushing out the Kakolan, while the dual lane over here, Kronos and Fafnir, are both getting pushed out as well by the Sol and the Kuzenbo.
Yeah, one of the Bastions already falling down in dual lane. That's quite quick, but well, Sol is called Sol the Tower Destroyer for a reason. Joe did definitely pick one of the best ADCs right now. This is an interesting fight over here. We saw Shiva standing inside of the dash for very long, and Obal actually going aggressive on top of it. Not sure about that, but we'll see. Brutalize coming in here, canceling it in time. I don't know if the dash, actually, the blink from Merlin probably stops the Brutalize, actually, right?
Yeah, I believe he goes invulnerable for 1 second in the middle of it, and so you stop attacking. It's like jumping or something like that, but it's not like a dash from a Nemesis or something like that, because you follow a dash on Nemesis.
Alright, thank you for the insight. So he's Kronos here, still on pretty low HP. Like we said before, does not have any health potions left. So against the Kuzenbo, so you're gonna be pushed out like big time. Especially with an early game Fafnir, which, well, Fafnir late game, I love it so much. But Fafnir early game, you got the hammer, it does a lot of damage, but it's also on like a 15-second cooldown, I do believe. So it's not much you can do. What do you think about Fafnir?
Yeah, earlier you asked me like what comp did I like more, you know, that kind of thing. The one thing I don't like about Dark Crystal's comp, honestly, is the Fafnir. I think you also would agree with me that the Fafnir was not like the most precious pick in this moment. We could have picked, you know, the Geb or something a little bit more aggressive to meet this Kuzenbo. But I think that if Fafnir can get to that 20-minute mark, where he's like maybe level 15, maybe even level like 13. Oh, an invade coming out from Dark.
Ooh.
And
Obal in trouble. Actually, perfect jump to get away. Shifa ult just a bit off the mark, and Obal will live. Great play by them.
Yeah, Dark Crystal still in that blue buff is really good. They would like to have that. And because the Kokolin was not being pressured out, man, two very close kills, but hiding behind the Bastion is still the Merlin, taunting each other. Is the Uller and the Merlin, they're good friends, you know?
A bit of banter in the mid lane between Pat and Ula. As we see in the dual lane here, Kronos finally meeting his matchmaker, and well, the start didn't pay off as Sol will claim first blood here on top of the Kronos. Hay falling down first, and there goes the second Bastion as well. I think a fat Sol is not something you would like to see, and that might be trouble for the rest of the game for Hay.
Yeah, Howard the Duck having Soul and landing that Supernova is a good sign for the future of this game. You want to see your Soul get ahead early. You know, if that's something that can happen. We saw this happen 2 to 3 days ago with Evan playing a Soul that was destroying and actually carried his team to, I believe, 2 wins. It's a threat to the dual lane right now, but that threat will spread to the rest of the map in the time being.
As we look at the solo lane here, just a bit of a scrimmage once again. And in the duo lane, it's actually the Soul now in trouble. Help from the Fenrir coming over into this duo lane. Fafnir going into the ult, Fenrir going into the Ragnarok. And actually a rewind from Kronos. I don't know what he rewinded, but Kronos rewind coming out. And now Fafnir will Sorry, not Fafnir. Kuzenbo will also fall down as Bark is standing in a distance, but I don't think he will go in against 3. So that's a clean 2 for 0.
Uller also here looking to land a couple of his arrows right on the head of Merlin, but will miss the spots and actually just hit some minions. But Bark going to say, I won't get a kill in dual lane, but maybe I'll get a kill in mid lane if I get this pool. But Blink? Was that? Yeah, Blink coming out from Uller to get out of that pool from Susano. To comment on the fact of the rewind by the Kronos, I don't know exactly why he did it, but it might have been because he would get his abilities up faster to secure that kill on Kuzenbo. It was a chancy call by him to do it because he might have come back up and been immediately snatched up and killed. But instead, it rewards him. So he will get the kill on the Kuzenbo, which helps out his team in the dual lane. They really needed that.
Yes, for sure. As personally, the person in this game I'm most looking forward to seeing is Petro. He obviously was a champion last season. Well, obviously, maybe people who are a bit new might not know. Petro was a champion last season for the Challenger division. I do believe he was a solo laner last season. I'm not quite sure. I hear in my ear, yes, he was a solo laner last year. So let's see how he does in the mid lane now. So far, he's been holding his ground against this Ula and has a bit of a level lead.
Yeah, we have Zitan going from one position to... Oh, wow, what a perfect time Rowan coming out from the Kokolin.
Great immunity by Obal indeed, saving his life once again. And now, how the tables have turned, with Susano actually joining into the fight. Bark is here, and this might be a bit of trouble for Shifa, but it seems like they will just walk out fine, as both Bark and Obal are also pretty low HP.
That was really well played by the Kokolin, but also really well played by both team junglers. They both knew when to get out. Rewind going to be used here again.
Stun off the mark though, that might have been a kill for the Kronos. Did the stun hit, and now, once again, the tables have turned as Soul uses Supernova to get a lot of damage down on Hay. And Soul, being the tower destroyer he is, almost has this tier 1 tower down already.
This is what souls do. You were talking about it's a tower destroyer soul, and Kronos can do the same thing, but when you put yourself behind by, I believe, a level as of right now, and you're building Book of Thoth, it's going to be a little while until you are, you know, able to be in that game. But it looks like as of right now, we have a small pause coming out from the team, so we will be right back. Oh, we'll be right back in 2 seconds, actually. Okay.
Yes, very small pause indeed.
That was like we got to make sure that something's going right here. I want to go back to my last point, which is, well, give me a second. Soul's stealing the purple buff, but Dark is over here looking at him saying, I might not let you get away for that for free. Brutalize not going to be used as of yet, waiting for that Disapparate to go down.
A lot of safety inside of the free. Beats being used as well might save our life just barely, as Bark is here to help. So Bark being there means Dark. Bark and Dark. Means Dark couldn't really aggress under tower there, which is a bit of a shame, because I think they could have gotten that just barely. But it's a fair call to not trust it and just keep your lead and go away.
Yeah, did we miss something? Did we miss the entirety of the fact that Soul did literally destroy the left tower? It's gone.
Yeah, I called it. Soul the tower destroyer, man.
Goodness gracious. So 7 minutes into the game, tier 1 gone from dual lane. That means that Kronos has nothing to fall back to anymore. And Dark is really going to have to help his teammate here and do that more often than what he just did. Because Kronos is now probably going to be 2 levels behind here in a couple minutes because of the pressure that Soul has.
Yeah, we also see the build difference into the ADCs here. We see Soul going for the Telkine's first item, where Kronos is opting for the stacks with the Book of Thoth. That means Kronos will be probably going for a more standard mage build, where Soul actually wants to go for those basic attacks. Which one do you prefer here?
I prefer the Soul build right now. Mages really thrive from that early game damage, and that's what that brings. Book of Thoth doesn't really affect a mage until it's fully stacked and you have some penetration to aid it. But instead, Soul has both the attack speed, the lifesteal, and everything that Telkine's brings. And it's a really good item now in this current meta.
Alright, so Soul actually going for the Bancroft second item here. It's a little bit of damage as well as a lot of lifesteal. That will help you out quite a bit, and the lower you get, the more damage you do. But hold that thought, Pat going in here. Very aggressive against the Uller. Uller blinking in. Alright, Uller blinking in to immediately X a minion and just get boots down in the face. As we see Obal here getting a solo kill, I do believe, onto MK12. Bark was close to it, but Bark was very low. I don't know how much they helped. Sorry, we were focusing on the mid lane, but Obal does get the kill onto MK12. That's what we know for sure. Still in the mid lane here, though, is this Fafnir. And Fenrir now as well.
Oh, man. What a blink. That was, oh, he actually secures his blue this time. Congratulations to Hay for that one. Chrono's gonna be able to have one. Is that correct? That's it. Oh no, that's
I think it got stolen.
Still got stolen. Yeah, it's great. Sorry, my bad. I forgot what side we're on. So yes, Howard the Duck and Soul once again still the purple buff. This would be like the third in a row that she walks away with. And Chronos is just begging for stacks right now and begging for farm just to be able to stay in this game at this point. He needs to be able to get to that once again, as I say, the famous 20-minute mark where he might be able to do a lot more damage to more people in this game. And hopefully Uller can land some more blink stuns.
Hopefully not on minions.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing that saved Kronos there a little bit is Soul actually was looking for a rotation over, didn't quite commit to it, so Kronos got a free wave off. That's a life save for him. As we see Dark here going into the Ragnarok, grabbing the Kusumo, which maybe not the best target, and now his mid laner is in a lot of trouble, will have to leave this fight, as Susanoo is actually joining the fight now as well. Fenrir jumping out for now, and it looks like they're regrouping, but look at the side. Shiva is coming over. Shiva is coming over, and solo laners are nothing to be scoffed at. Shiva diving the tower for Pat will get the kill, and now it's a 1 for 0.
Really
Great
well
rotation
there.
by the solo laner.
Yeah, really well positioned by both the solo laner and the Fafnir to see that rotation coming in, but still we have the Uller and the Fenrir still in the area trying to pull out the teammates now. and they will. But this is a 5-man group up here for Dark Crystal. Supernova will come out and will not land onto the Uller, and they're all trying to get out right now.
Yeah, the ADC is making their rotations over into mid as well. It looks like a little bit of an arena game right now. We're only 12 minutes in and 10 people into the mid lane. That's absolutely mental to me. But in the end, only one person dies, and that's Petro. So I think that's a big W for Dark Crystal in the end.
Dark Crystal loves to get kills right now. They really need them because their side lanes have been kind of struggling. But they say, we actually want more of a fight. We're not actually done here. Susano trying to get out. Kuzumbo, being the turtle that he is, pushing in MK12 underneath the tower.
In trouble now is the Shiva, as Kukulin is going hard, but not the main priority anymore, as Kuzumbo is now really low health. Great shell saving his life, and in return, once again, Fenrir having 0 health now in themselves as well. Everyone is being so low, they gotta be careful now. Any mistake means the end of your life. The only one who is healthy right now are both ADCs. As Uller jumping out, Kukulin saving a life, and Dark actually getting the kill on once again Pat. So this fight, only 2 people died, and it was Pat twice. So throwing out the 2, Fenrir, oh, so low, just barely not getting. Ooh, the stun connecting in the background from Kronos, getting a lot of poke damage off as well. And how is this fight still not over? I think this fight has been going on for 2 minutes straight now.
Yeah, this is an arena match. You just called it. And the Uller, by the way, I'm gonna let you know. Well, speaking of them,
there goes Uller.
The Uller blinked in and axed the Bastion.
Once again.
Yeah, he did it. He went in by himself and axed the Bastion. This gives Howard the Duck an opportunity to pull the gold for here, and Fafnir having to go into his ultimate to even save his own life and possibly jump out, but instead he gets a kill.
Well, Obal just tanked the gold fury for just a second too long, so actually Fafnir confirming that as Dark is jumping in now, gets a kill of themselves on Joe. Gold fury finally finding down. It's actually Dark Crystal getting it. Fenrir having to jump out now. I think Fenrir might be the one who actually got it for Dark Crystal there. I'm not quite sure. It might have been the Shiva as well. As now Shiva is chasing hard, but Pat saving their teammate by putting him away. But Shiva does not want to give him. They're still running down towards 2 of Howard the Duck. But I think he gave up for now.
Yeah, really well played there by Dark, getting in there and creating some chaos on that gold free, allowed for them to get 2 kills, and actually landing a big old arrow this time is the Uller that's infamous for right now, and infamous for blinking.
I think this Uller has no right laughing right now.
Yeah, I don't think so either. He's hit a minion and a Bastion with 2 of his biggest blinks yet, so let's go ahead and see if he can maybe land one, and then he can maybe laugh. But you know, we try to hold it up as just some fun banter and stuff like that, and you know, still mutual respect coming from this Uller and his mid laner.
As long as both players are okay with it, it is fine, of course.
Yes, of course. I mean, Dark, really the player of the game right now, really creating chaos, not only on that gold free, but he has allowed for his Kronos to stay in this game, only 1 level behind right now, which is a surprise considering how many Supernovas Soul has landed onto 3 or 4 different people.
Yeah, I think Soul rotating more than Kronos into this fight obviously does impact your XP situation. As Holted fought, Bark is absolutely being annihilated here. Uller hitting a really good X. Fenrir immediately jumping on top of it. That's a practically free kill inside of the enemy jungle. As now Kukulin might be in a bit of trouble ulting to get himself out. Ult and Fawns being popped in the background by Shiva, while the Pyromancers just being sneaked out by Dark Crystal. Great, I guess, being pushed away, the enemy team. But now Shiva falling low, doing a lot of damage. So Fafnir going into the ult, completely stopping the supernova damage by the ult transformation. It gets locked out by the Kuzumbo. Now in the backline, it's Shiva taking so much damage. And it's Taunts being popped by Obal, so Shiva actually kills himself on it. Obal also falling down though. I think that might have been a kill from either Thorns or the item that we all hate. As Susanoo charging their ult, hitting 3 people, killing 1, but falling down immediately themselves. Kronos the rewind coming way too late as Joe secures himself a double kill and will probably get another tower now. What a chaotic fight as only Dark lives for Dark Crystal.
The one person that you want to be commenting on right there was for sure Obal on the Kukulin. He was in a great position to allow his team to re-enter into that fight because that was Dark Crystal 100% of that fight. but instead it actually ended up being that how the Duck comes out on top there, besides losing the Pyromancer and obviously some objectives in the past, they're able to get 4 kills. I think Dark is the only one that escaped. Everyone else went ahead and simply saw the gray screen.
Yeah, for sure. As
He's attacking minions, yeah?
yeah, that deserved nothing but silence for me. I'm so sorry, but I just want to watch this masterpiece for a little bit. As we go back to the middle lane now, Fafnir jumping in onto Pat, taking a bit of damage, but they are pretty tanky by now, so they have like a lot of mitigation as well already by having built a spirit rope. They are not dying anytime soon.
Yeah, it seems like no one's going to be dying anytime soon on this team of Dark because they're all so tanky, but Shiva and Fafnir are doing their correct job just looking at this Kuzenbo. I want to talk about the Kuzenbo real quick because guess who Dark has picked up 3 times, I believe, in this game. It's only been 17 minutes. He's picked up that Kuzenbo 3 times. I think Dark needs to choose a different target here and see if he can pull some beads or maybe a better target that will just be easy to kill for him.
Yeah, I do agree. I don't think the support is the best decision to pick up usually as the Fenrir. The only thing you can say is, well, he doesn't have beats, so at least it goes down for the full duration. But then again, your ultimate is basically a beats burner, so I would like for him to pick up Petro or Joe here more often. As that being said, he's actually looking to buy Petro here. Will actually get the kill with the Ragnarok onto Petro. Joe now charging the Ragnarok, but they are alone against 4 people. Gotta be careful, they're inside of the bubble for protection. Does not seem like Almond wants to go any deeper. While they're taking AoE damage from the item that everyone hates. Bar getting a kill in the backline onto Uller though.
Yeah, and guess what Uller did not do that game? He did not blink. No blink come out from Uller, but he actually ends up dying with his blink still up, which he might have wanted to use that to escape if he was not taking damage. Soul being pressured here by Kronos and Shiva, and now we see Colin and Kuzenbo, 2 people you do not want to see in your backline, attacking the entirety of Dark Crystal by himself.
Ooh, but there comes Bark. Great damage from Bark onto the Fafnir. Fafnir, obviously, the mitigation's keeping them alive for now, but it's still a lot of people. And you gotta be careful with Kukulin joining this fight. His Kuzenbo standing right beside him. They're all grouped up over here. That's a 5-man group up while Uller is still in base. It's a 5v4 now, right now, as the Gold Fury is being looked at. In the backline, it's just Dark clearing some backcams. Well, the Shiva actually gets aggressed. 5 people on him right now. Sorry, it's only 4, but Dark getting the kill onto Bark. Shiva living with a slither of HP, but Dark bringing a Kukulin towards his 1 HP teammate. It works out for now as Dark actually gets a triple kill, gets a quadra kill. Is he going for the penta? He's keep going, keep going. It's only the Kuzenbo life. He does have a lot of HP, but the whole team wants to give it to him. No one steal it. Does he get it? It's too late.
Yeah.
It's a pentakill!
Let's go, Dark.
It's the pentakill for Dark on the Fenrir here. What a great play.
I think that's the first penta of this season that I've seen. I was honorary enough to get the first penta, the first quadra kill of this season, but that's the first penta I've seen of the scouting grounds, and that is awesome. Is that the first one we've seen as far as you know, Jeff?
That's the first one I've seen in the entire SDL.
Wow,
so far.
That is awesome. Congratulations to Dark on that. Really well played by him. If you didn't see in that beginning of that fight, what he did was he went away from his team and just dove the far back line of the enemy team. I believe it was the Soul that he got the first kill on, who was just standing in the Gold Fury pit alone. And so he got that kill and then came back to his team, who had 3 people on them, and then landed one of the biggest jumps of his life.
Yeah, I actually thought Dark was misplaying there by bringing the Kukulin into his Shiva, who was like dying from a single basic attack, but it worked out in the end. He got the pentakill, and props to him. Well, just perfectly played, I guess, except for almost killing his teammate.
Yeah, bringing back a guy with Mystical Mail and Contagion right to your Shiva. But here is an Uller who is struggling to escape from a Kuzenbo and a Merlin, but still has his blink down as of right now, sadly. But walking right towards his Soul and is going to take that one-on-one fight while being chased by 2 others. Now Soul says, wow, you're only a quarter health. I'm going to try to kill you. But actually what happens is Patro gets picked by Hay, and he has to use his beads. Yeah.
Yep. Petro being picked up in the background is Sad for him, but good pickup by Dark Crystal as they are looking for the tier 1 tower over here in left now. Opal slowly rotating into this fight, actually deciding to go for the teleport now as Fafnir goes up into the Dragon Transformation, missing his power up for his entire team, but who cares? As now the Fawns being popped by Obals. Uller in the backline, I don't know who popped the Frenzy, but Frenzy being popped. Now in the background it's Uller versus Bark, just a little bit off screen as Bark actually gets Uller. Fenrir jumping out, brutalizing out, and Dark Crystal's gotta run.
Yeah, do you see what's on this side of the map? Do you see any objectives on this side of the map up right now besides towers?
No, they're playing
yeah.
Arena.
Yeah, they're playing Arena on the left side of the map while the Fire Giant is currently up, a rewind being used and going all the way into the deep of Howard the Duck's line. And Patro comes back from death and says, I have at least one more kill in me before I get killed, maybe again.
I think that might have been an offensive rewind from Hayda to try and get Bark, but Bark did live in the end as the rewind did not work out for him and he will just die of it. Joe getting a kill onto the Fafnir though. And now they're looking at the tier 2 tower and the game has been flipped once again. We went from a pentakill for Dark Crystal to Dark Crystal being almost all dead and their tier 2 tower being looked at.
Yeah, this is, if it were me, this is me yelling at my team saying, Fire Giant, we got 5 up, you know? And they have 2 dead for 30 seconds. But instead, we'll get a T2, and maybe we should return to base here and spend our money and then head over to Fire Giant. That is at least what I believe that Howard the Duck should be doing. This is their opportunity to take their lead back that they had in the early game with Soul in the left lane and such.
Yeah, for sure. If you are Howard the Duck here, what would be your game plan? Because for me, I would say get the Fenrir first, just use everything on him to get him killed, then look for the Kronos, and then the rest doesn't really bother you all that much. But what would you do if you were Dark Crystal here?
Oh, it's for sure. I mean, Dark has been getting away with a lot of things here. He's been able to do a lot of things, but they're pulling Fire Giant right now, and Howard the Duck, this is the first thing that Howard the Duck does not want to do. They don't want to not be here.
Kronos being knocked up twice in a row by the Fire Giant, that's a bit iffy, but they do confirm it just in time with the Fafnir's transformation. There's also Shiva ultimate coming out. All the other ults in the game are still up. As we might see a little bit of a fight here, but Fire Giant did go towards Dark Crystal.
Yeah, you were just asking me what Howard the Duck needs to do to get back in this game. That was the first thing they did not need to do, which is not be at that Fire Giant on time. They were still a good 10 to 15 meters away from being able to be a part of that fight. I do want to comment as we are on the screen of builds right here. This is 2 more Thorns than I see in any of my matches. I don't see Thorns that often. I know it's a pretty good, but also like why not just get like a Shell or a Sprint or a Meditation even if you wanted to bring some more aid to your team instead of being a solo with Thorns.
Yeah, although we saw one of the more important kills this game so far come from the Thorns on this Cocoon, I do definitely agree with you. I think I don't know why either of them picked it up, let alone both of them. I think there are a lot better options, especially since they both also, well, did get the teleport. I do think teleport is a great option, but you need at least one utility relic as a solo laner, in my opinion, to help your teammates out. Because, well, only the supports now can help the teammates. And in case of almondbutter, that means no Shell in that team whatsoever.
Yeah, no Shell at all, but they have the Belted Frenzy, which is a cool item to get to shred towers and to shred gods if you want to, immediately kill someone. But that being said, yeah, the Thorn's obviously not the best pickup, but you could do Blink. Blink is one of those things that soul laners can do really well to get into that backline, especially Kakolin. Using that jump is obviously very scary, or using the push is very scary for Kakolin because it allows him to have 0 escape after using it, which is why you usually want to get like a Blink to start the fight.
For sure. I agree. Blink is one of the... I would even say Blink is a utility to help your teammates, because if everyone of the other team is dead, they can't kill your team.
Hey Jeff, I have a question for you. Ready?
Shoot it.
Okay, the two Pyromancer bombs, how much do you think they sell for in base?
33 gold.
Oh, you knew it. Okay, yes. Isn't that so funny? You can sell those bombs for 33 gold, but they also do 1,000 damage to towers and make them shoot a lot slower. So this is a really good thing for Dark Crystal to have with their pushes here, because it seems like to me they are kind of struggling to push here. They've looked at 2 T2s, both on the right-hand side and the left-hand side. If they can get these bombs onto these towers, I mean, there's a better opportunity for them to win this game a lot faster.
I agree. Although usually people do tend to keep them for the Phoenix push. If you actually do struggle this much with getting the tower, maybe you just want to quickly get the tower and wait for the next Pyromance to get another bomb down. But, well, Howard the Duck is keeping up in the game for now. But I do think Dark Crystal, with the Fire Giant buff on them, are in the driver's seat for sure. As Petro might get caught out here just a little bit. Backing with the shop open is never smart. The Age is being popped down, but still very low. Falls down towards the Ula. And now Kukulun gets a 3-man knock of 4-man hit. Dark's jumping in onto Bark. Bark falling down towards the Brutalize. That's the power of Fenrir right now. It's just absolutely insane. Now Fenrir going into the Ragnarok, bringing Kukulun back into this fight. It's Frenzy being popped. Lots of damage here by Hay as well. Looking at the tier 2 now with Uller in the backline, finally coming back into this fight. Soul, that's not where you want to be walking, girl. And Soul actually gets a double kill with the Solar Flare at 1 HP. Just a single breath of Fafnir actually finally getting her down, as now they're looking at the Big Turtle. Big Turtle falling down as Dark gets a godlike 13-0 pentakill, absolute MVP. They will look for the Phoenix now and maybe even end the game. There are still 2 towers up and 8 seconds on Petro, but who's going to stop them? Well, they're going to stop them. They're going to stop themselves. They're first want to go for the towers, and Fire Giant has also respawned, so probably looking at that as well.
Yeah, Dark is obviously MVP of this game as of right now, able to get into these. He did the same thing that he did on Gold Fury right there in that fight. He jumps towards that back. You know, the Susano was the one at this point, but he was able just to. He literally jumped right past the support, the solo, and the ADC and said, I don't really care. I don't want any of you guys. I don't want to mess with any of you guys. So then he just goes and kills the one person that's alone, which is sadly the Susano that doesn't have his 3 and only has his 1, which does not allow him to get away from a Brutalize, and he secures that kill with that.
Yeah, I must also say great vision and game knowledge by almondbutter here, jumping over the wall to start that fight, stunning Petro out of his back. Petro was backing with his shop open, loses his Aegis for it, and dies. As Volted fuck here, Kronos in a lot of trouble. Hey, somehow gets the return kill onto Bark before he dies, but will fall down anyways after the rewind. Absolutely melted. I don't even know how he got that return kill.
I think he must have got that off of 1 frame, the 1 tick that he was allowed to. Kukulin's going to go ahead and scream here and not get much damage out onto either the Uller or the Fafnir, because the Uller goes ahead and runs away. Ooh. Oh, what a combo coming out from that Uller, something we haven't seen all of this game, but that's the infamous Uller combo of the arrows, axe, everything like that, that flies from the sky. It's very dangerous if you get caught by it, and he did.
Uller one-hitting the soul without his stun even. Yeah. Like, absolutely 100-0. So much burst damage coming out of this mid laner. He is going for the one-hit build with the busted Bluestone at the moment, as well, of course.
Bluestone.
Yeah, it's too good. I think it's going to be nerfed even more soon, but well, until it does, there's no reason not to buy it. As we see the jungler from Howard the Duck on the Susano actually getting it as well. It's not yet upgraded though, so it's going to help a lot when it actually eventually does get upgraded. Shiva here, popping the Thorns and ultimate, going in, but no one really cares about him, as he's now in enemy territory with his ultimate and Thorns over. Might be in a bit of trouble, but actually seems to get out just fine. Dark looking at it as well, but decides not to 1v5 once again.
He could have. I'm guessing he probably could have tried there. I think he really wants to fight. I think he's blood hungry. He's feeling that dog nature come to him. You know, that wolf nature wanted to do it. But obviously, Fire Giant being pulled here by Dark Crystal. Again, we've seen this happen before. And
Frenzy being popped. Yeah. Frenzy being popped already. Fire Giant below half HP, but I think they gotta run. Ragnarok coming out though, bringing the Kukulun into the entire team, getting a 5-man knockup, I believe, as Hay actually gets a kill onto the Kusunbo. Hay getting a double kill onto Balls, and Fire Giant is still aggro. Fire Giant still below half HP. I don't know if they're going to do or if they want to chase kills here, as they're actually looking at Pat teleporting out, and it's Hay falling down to Bark, as the Fire Giant will finally fall down towards Dark Crystal. Dark falling down though themselves, as it's a 2 for 3, but Dark Crystal getting the Fire Giant. It's I think a little bit of bad shot calling to not all stick together on either the Fire Giant or the kills, costing them 2 lives.
Yeah, costing them 2 lives and, you know, 1 really important life. That's a 14-1 Fenrir now. I mean, might as well just not be in this game anymore. Joking. Oh, another combo.
Ooh.
Almost
Aegis
getting
coming
the kill.
out.
Yeah, had to use that soul Aegis, not disapparate. Sadly, now having using it afterwards. But yeah, Fenrir, first death of the game. Dark really made it into 30 minutes into the game without dying, and now he does not have Enhanced Fire Giant around his belt. But this is a great opportunity for Dark Crystal now to push these Phoenixes with Enhanced Fire Giant.
Yeah, as they're looking at the Gold Fury now to just extend their lead even more. I don't know what Howard the Duck has got to do to come back into this game, as it actually is an enhanced Fire Giant that they picked up, the first enhanced Fire Giant of the game. Phoenix did respawn for Howard the Duck here though, and they still have got 2 tier 2 towers left. Would you defend these towers if you were Howard the Duck here, or would you just go for the Phoenix?
Phoenixes, 100%. This is Enhanced Fire Giant, which means that you're little to no chance of you defending towers, so you're gonna have to hold these Phoenixes as well as you can. Which is fine. If you look at the left side of your screen, you'll see that player damage wise, Howard the Duck has the 3 highest player damage in this game right now. They have players pumping out damage. They just need to align their team fight in the proper way like Dark is, and get that damage in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, the damage chart is telling me also that Susanoo is just not bringing out enough. He has about half, if not, no, a little bit less than half of his counterpart in the jungle here on the Fenrir. Even, no, am I reading that wrong? Is that half or is that even less?
The Susanoo versus who?
Versus Fenrir.
Yeah, it's half. Exactly.
It's about
basically.
half, yeah. I would like the Susanoo to be a bit more active in these team fights. Actually opting to go for the other upgrade than the one that's broken right now. Onto the Bluestone. That's an interesting choice to say the least.
Oh, yeah, he went diminishing Bluestone, didn't he? Wow. That's a surprise. I don't see that often.
Yeah, I would not do that if I was him.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's not a basic attacker. This is like their attack speed by 10%, as you can read right there in the 4th line. That's not what you're looking for, and it puts stacks of corruption on them. So yeah, not exactly what you're looking for. You're looking for that brooch because it's very good on area of effects gods. For example, the Cocoon. Hopefully he does not get that same one. Hopefully he gets the brooch one because that's really good on him.
Yes, I do agree. As all the towers for Howard the Duck are finally down now, Fafnir going into the transformation, buffing his entire team as the Phoenix just got melted. I think that was 3 basic attacks and it's already down to 20% HP. Kukulin though going in hardest. Fafnir is low HP, gets stunned out. Fafnir jumping out and no one dead yet in this fight, which is a bit surprising. A lot of ultimates already being used, but the Ragnarok is still up. I'm looking at that. Uller jumping out for now. And actually Dark decides to go out. He doesn't go for the Ragnarok just quite. Actually, he used the Ragnarok.
Yeah, must have gotten beads. Whose beads did he get? He got Susanoo's beads.
By the looks of it, you're right. As Uller blinked in and immediately jumped out. Another spicy play to say the least. As this Phoenix is still very low. Kronos stun coming out in the backline. Kukulin just barely living there with the skin of his teeth. A lot of low health was here. But I think that's I think Howard the Duck is a bit of the advantage here as they are so close to base. Dark now having to run.
Dark has 2 in the middle lane right now, but they have 3 in the left lane. So this is a good opportunity for Dark to push on the left side of the map here because they have 4 people. Yeah, they have only 3 people over here.
Kuzenbo forcing the Ulla into the Phoenix, getting his beats as well. Very low HP now. Didn't even talk about Bark getting Dark there. Dark is 2nd death of the game. He's gone for a minute, and that's a lot of fighting potential that Dark Crystal even had. If it wasn't for Uller actually getting a kill of themselves onto Pat here. It's now Shiva in the ultimate, harassing the Soul. While Bark gets another one onto Uller. And now it's Shiva in a lot of trouble. Shiva actually falling down. But Kuzenbo, half an HP. Ooh. Great rewind there by the Kronos. Will get a return kill onto Joe. And it's a 3 for 3. Actually, sorry, it's a 3 for 4. It's only almondbutter alive for Dark Crystal. And the Phoenix still standing on this left side. That's okay. That's surprising to me.
Yeah, nothing really happened there. It feels like you know, we did a lot of fighting, but nothing really came of it. They got the 2 towers, I suppose, with that Fire Giant. But you really wanted Dark to get that enhanced Fire Giant this time. Let's not have him die. He is a very important player on this team currently at 14-2. He did not have the enhanced fire giant, which probably made him a bit more scared to jump in the back line of Howard the Duck. And also to comment on the warding going on here. Look how many wards Dark Crystal have in their inventory right now. That's a really good sign. They really need to keep that up.
Well, I would prefer them to place it down on the map than actually keep it in the inventory. But yeah, I do agree with you. It's good to have those walls. We have seen a lot of people being caught out earlier in this draft, like in this draw, in all of the drafts so far because of the lack of ward coverage. But I'm looking. Well, I'm gonna watch at the end of the game how much wards they actually did place down, and let's see if they deserve the props or not.
Yeah, this is technically the lowest division in the SDL, but there have been some, not so great plays in this game. But there also have been some really impressive plays, especially from some of these players. We have like the Susano currently, who obviously bought the weird Bluestone, which is obviously a sign of maybe not understanding that God as fully as you can, but also Fire Giant being pulled right now.
It's Fire Giant killing the red buff.
Oh, barkyi down.
As Uller gets a kill in the backline, Shifa falling down now as well. It's a 1-for-1, but you trade out the solo laner for the jungler. That's definitely better for the team that kills the jungler. As now Balls gets stunned out. Ragnarok coming out with the brutalize onto the Soul. Soul living with skin for teeth, actually dying now after being sick because of the Uller in the backline. Skukulen and anti-robo rewind coming out. Taunts have already been popped, taunts over, stun just barely off the mark by Hay, but the one will find the kill. As now it's just Kusubo against the world. Petro on the Merlin, pretty far away, will group up with his support now, but it's him against 3, actually dashing in. I think that's not what you want to do. Dying towards the Fafnir here, and now Kusubo, who came back to help his mid laner, who killed himself, also dying for it.
That could be game if they can push in right now. I mean,
the Fenrir transform stopping at the worst time possible, but the mid minions with fire means on mid pushing in will get the right side Phoenix, and it's only Bark against the world. 15 seconds on Joe before the soul spawns back in, and it's 4 people on this Titan. Titan already about half HP, Bark is dead, Titan falling below half HP now. It's 4 of them here, and I do believe this is game. It's Uller being super toxic and standing in the fountain of the enemy as they win the game.
Wow, Dark Crystal really coming through right there and ending that game right when they should have. Hey, really pumping out the damage as well on that Susano. No chance for survival for that Susano.
Yeah. Let's look at the stats from the game, shall we? So Dark Crystal takes game 1. We see, obviously, first thing to talk about, that's Fenrir. Let's not beat around the bush. 14-3, probably the best player in this game. Closely by this late game Kronos on Hay, getting 12 kills for themselves as well. And let's look at his wards. Almond, props to you, placed 21 wards down. However, I want to say to the other team, Bark placing 19 wards down, doing good. But AJRave only having 10 wards as a support, probably just barely not enough.
Yeah, you're a Kuzin bow as well, which means those wards are going to help you get a lot of kills for your team if you can place them in more aggressive locations. Push a person into your team and get a pick early in these games and early in these fights. It would have been very on his his affirmative to do that.
Well, there you have it, folks. This has been game 1. I am Jeffrey, and I'm here together with Phoenix. I want to thank Anthony for camming for us, and we'll see you back in game 2. And welcome back to the second set, well, the second game of the set, I'm so sorry. We had some technical difficulties, so we see the first 6 picks and 8 bans have already been gone. I'm Jeffrey, I'm here for the second game together with the washed up Power.
What an intro. Thanks for calling me in, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're not playing anymore.
It's true.
Let's talk about the picks that have been picked so far. We saw Yuhang with the first pick here, as the teams have switched, and it's now the Dark Crystal on the Chaos side instead of the Order side, so they didn't get first pick. decided to ban out their own Fafnir and Fenrir, and letting through the Yuhang for Pet. What do you think about this?
Uh, it's a little weird that they didn't top pick magical ADCs, but Yu Huang's a strong mid laner. He's very consistent, very safe. Just a lot, and Vulcan also is a strong mid laner who push out a lot of pressure. I really like Vulcan, Athena, Hoonbots. I think that's a great top three. I really like a Soul and a Horus lane. They have so much pressure.
Ooh, it's actually Cherno now is being picked up with Freya still open, so maybe they're just not too comfortable playing a mage ADC, as I think Freya might be one of the best gods in the game right now. But what do you think about the Sunanos? I personally still think it's one of the better normal hunters, but definitely not as good as the magical hunters are right now.
Yeah, he's definitely a top 2 normal hunter. Cernos and Ishtar are really strong. Cernos has a lot of objective clear that Freya doesn't really have, so they could be looking for that.
Yeah, as the Capri is being locked in here, for the other side means immediate response with the Achilles, picking up the last execute available in the game as Ao Kuang and Thanatos have been banned out. Probably a pretty solid pick to get the execute against Capri. What do you think about this team? What do you think about these teams in general?
I think Dark Crystal won the draft a lot. Achilles will bully Horus in lane. I think Horus solo lane is pretty weak in laning phases, and I don't think they have the greatest team fight. I think the dual lane for Howard the Duck is really strong though. I think they have a lot of kill pressure. Soul is just a lot better than Cernos right now. Like everyone says, magical ADCs are just kind of broken. But I think Dark Crystal won the draft.
Well, there you have it, folks. These are your picks for the second game of this set. Will we get a third or will it be finals? We see you in game 2. Thank you so much. And there we are in the second game of this set as the buffs are about to spawn. We have both teams full of excitement. Howard the Duck on the brink of losing this, but will they go for a comeback for the game 3? I sure do hope so. I would like to see a 3-game set. How about you, Power?
I would love to see a 3-game set. More Jeffrey time. It's my goal in life.
Yes, I've only been streaming for like 2 hours and then also casting 4 games today. My throat is absolutely dying, but I still would like to see a 3-game set. As we see the normal, in my opinion, better 2 buff start with the XP comp and the green start for Howard the Duck here. Well, Dark Crystal went for all 3 at the same time. It did work out as, well, Chernonos does have those AoE basic attack it's only for 25%, but he does have those AoE basic attacks in short range. What do you think about these stats?
I also like the Howard the Duck start a little bit more. Cernos has great clear, so it kind of allows him to do that. But I think the Howard the Duck start is a lot better, where you just do green XP to purple.
I agree.
It's actually probably going to be a kill on Kepri.
Great shell.
Great body block by Soul.
Very little HP, but will fall down in the end. Yes. Everyone in dual lane already being very low HP as Capri is actually being sent to the graveyard for first blood. I think it was just barely within the first minute, as now Soul in a love turbo as well will get a return kill, but he getting a double kill right off the bat.
It's gonna put him very far ahead. Lots of gold.
Lots of gold indeed. However, it of course is immediately the revenge kill for Joe, so you will get a little bit back out of that. Here in the mid lane, Pat being pretty safe. The jump was rightfully timed to not have too much trouble with the Humbots trying to gank here.
Yeah, the mid lane is very safe this season. It's very difficult to get a successful gank off.
For sure. Well, Power, I do believe Pat is your old teammate, isn't he?
Yeah, we won the championship, the season 1 together.
So, can you tell me something about Pat? Obviously, he's not normally a mid laner. I do believe he's a solo laner, like I said last game. What can you tell me about Pat?
He's very aggressive, but he's very chill as a person. But in game, he's in there. He's always blinking in, hitting multiple man ults on Kukul, and he was pretty goated.
All right, well, you heard it from the ex-champion himself. Pat is pretty goated. At least he's still a player. As here, Humbots He's going for a gank. Humbat's going for a gank. Joe in a bit of trouble, but actually Joe fighting themselves pretty well through this Humbat, as Humbat is almost falling down, but now Joe in the backline, actually in the mid lane, I'm so sorry, Bark getting a kill onto Vulcan. And Soul still saying with that amount of HP? I'm not sure if that's the call. Capri does not have ult up yet. I don't think what you're
Soul's
gonna
staying because Barkyi's coming in to gank him.
Bark is coming in over here. Does also still level 3, does not have the ultimate up.
They can kill
But
Athena.
Athena.
Yes,
Athena,
that's a great kill.
Yeah, great pull as well by the Capri. AJ just playing that pretty much perfectly. Like, yeah, Athena overstanding her welcome just a little bit. Got probably greedy by seeing the Soul HP and paid the price for it.
Howard the Duck is electing not to invade the purple buff. Rather, they're just going to get the shield buff and leave. Which is an interesting choice. I guess they just didn't feel too safe. They think they're going to get rotated on by the Hun Bats.
Yeah, Spat almost gets soloed by a red buff. Will live for now. Actually, cancelled his back to base because he does want the XP and gold from this wave. Vulcan, however, still is close. Used all of his abilities, so should be fine for now. Does have ultimate up though. Juicy ultimate could kill Petwer here, but I think he'll be fine for now. As we see, just people backing all across the map. Soul going safely back to base here, and in this solo lane, it's pretty much like you were expecting. It's Obal here on the horse, being bullied quite a bit by this Achilles. Actually in execute range, so you gotta be careful now.
Especially electing to go magical defense first item. I don't know if there's an item in that tree that has Fizz D, but generally that's a magical defense tree. Great ult on a Pat. You mentioned it earlier.
Ultimate.
A spicy ultimate, it'll take down Patroclez. And once he goes up into that 3, he's very predictable, he's very slow.
Oh, and there's the execute from the Achilles. Will actually survive the tower shot as well, as Bark is just walking against the wall. Will he be in time? He will not be in time because he was just walking against the wall to get the return kill on this Achilles. Achilles getting a kill on the tower and returning safely, making that fight by the end a 1-for-1. But indeed, like you were saying, great ultimate by this Vulcan. I think, like our cameraman is trying to point out, I think Ravana might have been trying to blink over the wall, but maybe couldn't find the right spot to do so. And that cost him a kill.
That's what I thought as well, yeah. Oh, Stone of Binding's in that tree. Yeah, Stone of Binding is 40 Fizz prots, I think. Yeah. Alright.
It's, yeah, not too bad. It's not the best, but it's not the worst, I guess.
Yeah, I still would have preferred like a Breastplate of Valor or something, but...
Yeah.
I guess when you're playing Horus solo, you are looking for team fights, so you might as well just build hybrid, like items that give both magic and defense.
It's here 3-3-2 in the mid lane, but there comes the Humbats from the back line. Ooh, perfectly timed jump by Petro to avoid the Fear No Evil. And this fight is dying out. I thought Petro was going to die there, but well played by him.
Yeah, that's Yu Huang, he's the safest mid laner. Great pull by AJRave. Oh, great taunt onto Bark by Almondbutter. And Bark, it's gonna kill him.
Be dead. There comes the Vulcan up, not hitting anyone or even close to anyone. That's a bit of a shame.
It was pretty close to AJRave. I think it was a good try.
Sure. As in the solo lane, Horus actually, I think he was trying to immediately walk out of base, accidentally probably cancelled his back. Still on the tower here with not too much HP, and there's an execute up for this Achilles, with also Humbats and Athena being in his lane.
He should die here,
He should die, yeah. Question is, will tower do enough? Ooh.
MK12 lung, man. That guy's, he knows it, man. He knows the tower damage. He's going in there.
MK getting out with the skin of his teeth after tower shots twice in a row now. Pretty calculated or lucky from him, as he did opt to buy the item that everyone hates.
Contagion. Yep. Broken item.
Pretty cringe, if you ask me.
I think it's alpha.
Let's agree to disagree. In the mid lane here, as we see the mid camps being...
Vulcan gets half health. This should be a kill.
Being in a lot of trouble.
He's still dead.
The root
there
connecting
it
from
goes.
the Ravana, and the Ravana will get the kill in the end. Was getting quite close for Petro to fall down himself as well, but we'll live for now. As we're looking at the solo lane, we're looking at Athena backing towards base. Capri just walking in mid. Ooh. Maybe some kill
Both
potential
ults
here.
expended. Joe should win this. Oh, minions body block the auto.
Joe just barely losing that fight onto Hay. Hay getting, well, every good player needs a bit of luck, but I would say it was a bit lucky, but also well played to use your minions to your advantage. Doing damage, but also blocking those, well, important soul basic attacks. Getting him to win that fight, and you see that lifesteal with the first item Asi, as well as his one having some built-in lifesteal, and his starter item. He's already almost full HP. Well, it's more like half, but it's still insane to me. As in the mid lane, actually, Dark here getting a kill for themselves onto AJRave. And extending, going away for now, not deciding to go for the tower dive this time. It's maybe a bit unsafe to go for tower dive against this Yu Hang, who still probably has his jump up. Would you have tower dove there, Power?
No, not at 8 minutes.
Well, we have seen some tower dives before, as we see a blink here and just a safe dash out from Hay. Getting out for now, but losing the buff towards the enemy jungler.
Great
So
zoning
in
by
the-
AJRave. Probably saved Pat's life right there.
Good zoning indeed, as Pat is pretty low, but so is Vulcan. Athena about half HP, probably safe for now. Especially with the knowledge that we have that Bark is nowhere close towards this fight. Bark actually might be looking towards the duo lane again. As for now, they're just waiting for a backhand to spawn that still hasn't spawned. Finally into the middle lane here.
He's going for the red buff, and then he's going to wrap to green and XP.
Yes, that would be my guess as well. As
Yeah.
Vulcan is actually trying to solo the mid camps. He did do it, but lost half his HP to it, because the mid camps are quite strong right now. Ooh, great knock-up onto AJRave. It's here in the mid lane. Ooh, Petro
Great
maybe
time.
have to
Pat's
overstate
dead.
his welcome just a
Nope.
bit.
Great shell.
Good ultimate, just not enough. Oh, great revive by Capri.
Yeah.
Didn't connect to the kill on Petro, but they of course would have if Capri didn't use his ultimate. That was a good ultimate. Okay, Bark missed his overhead kick. That's a bit of a shame, because that not only means that he doesn't get the kill, it means he dies actually. Fear No Evil coming on just in time, as now they're looking at AJRave to completely finish this. Athena takes 2 tower shots, almost dies herself for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Yu Hang coming back in.
Pat returned. He's ready to get the XP.
Yes, sir. Ooh, can we look at duo lane here? Soul actually in a lot of trouble against Hay. Hay 3-1 already got his Rage line as well. Just slowly walking up towards the source as the supernova coming down, but not clearly being enough. As Hay actually gets the solo lane once again onto his counterpart of the soul.
Yeah, he is
Execute.
really
Woohoo!
just off the mark.
Obal.
What a shame.
Obal with a great dodge, using the heal to dodge the execute from MK12 here. It's the first execute he missed, so it's not that big of a deal just yet, but you clearly do kind of want to hit those.
The Rizzler's rotating! Get in
Here
there.
comes Vulcan.
Does get the
knockup.
kill on Obal.
And there goes
and-
Obal.
I believe Bark should die here if Athena has taunt. Yep, there he goes.
Yes. Overstaying their welcome just a little bit. Great rotation by the mid laner, of course. As now the other mid laner, Petro, coming over as well. Deciding not to go for it, but already made their presence known. So Athena is there.
Is Hay
Taunt
on the
probably
Gold Fury?
almost off. Hay is on the Gold Fury and now gets help
Holy.
from their jungler.
That is going to
That's
drop
a
the
great
Gold Fury.
call.
That is a great call. He's really abusing the fact that Soul went Book of Thoth first, and he power spiked much earlier with Aussie, got Rage, snowballed the lane, did an early Gold Fury.
Yeah, we see Joe here indeed going for the Book of Thoth. I talked about this with Fenix in the first game a little bit. He clearly preferred the ring build onto Soul. What do you think? Is this Book of Thoth a good pickup?
I prefer the ring build on Soul, personally. But I mean, Joe's doing a lot of damage with these ults.
Yeah, the supernova does hit hard, but is it going to be enough when you're the ADC of the team? Big fight here coming out as we see Falcon just barely coming out, and there is the Capriol, and it gets denied by the execute from MK12. That's exactly why they picked this Achilles. And Capri not feeling too good right
Great
now.
Athena taunt.
Ooh,
Great Athena taunt in the Cernal. That's great. Patro's dead here.
Beats coming out from Patro as well.
Great feel by Balls.
Now. Great root. And there comes Achilles. Blink is down. Stun coming up.
He got
Actually,
it.
Get
down,
Obal
That is
all
nuts.
the way in the back. I didn't even see Obal on my screen there. It's a bit surprising to say the least. Great play though. Good blink. I thought the blink was a bit of a waste until I saw that he actually got a kill from it.
MK12 is just putting on a clinic with this Achilles Contagion build. He's going nuts.
He sure is. Yeah, slowly confirming their own blue buff. And with their own blue buff, I mean it's an in-fate, but that's basically theirs now.
Yeah, pretty much. 3-level lead on the Achilles, and Darknms has been rotating that blue buff almost on cooldown. They have just been bullying the Horus. Oh my god, great solo kill by Pat.
Patro finally showing up why he is an ex-champion. Great ultimate by them, good solo kill, hitting all of his abilities, and then you get it. And now Athena does get to dash out somehow in between 4, because everyone misses all their abilities. Bit unlucky, you must say, as Hay gets rooted out. Ooh, and that's actually a teleport coming in from the Achilles here, so now...
Everyone's gonna have to turn and run. The gigantic solo laners rotated.
Ooh, double taunt.
Man, almondbutter has just been on point. Barks out, Balls is out. This is a great disengage from Howard the Duck.
Oh, execute just a bit off the mark onto Capri. He will still fall down. It's just a bit of a shame because you don't have it up anymore now. As Petro gets a kill onto the Athena, and now it's actually Humbat that's in a bit of trouble. We'll find their way out, even though they were slowed. And it's a 1-for-1 in the end, where you thought Dark Crystal had that all the way in the back, as now Falcon was coming out. And MK actually getting a kill because Obal was getting greedy and chased for no reason.
Joe's stuck between 4. He has no 3.
Stuck in between 4 for sure. Will fall down here, I do believe. Yes, Hay confirming a kill as Athena is jumping on top of them. Will they finally get this tower? As now 3 of the Howard the Duck are dead.
Looks like the Rizzler killed Patro. So this should be a free tower, and then they could probably do Fire Giant.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
It looks like almost a repeat from game 1.
I didn't watch that game. Did MK12 just go big every game?
No, it was mostly Dark last game, but
he's doing a lot this game. He's 3-0. Has a 2-level lead on Bark.
He is doing quite a bit of work. Horus actually over in. I don't think anyone noticed as they were all backing with shop open. Like the bronzes they are. There comes Fear No Evil. AJRave going down. Oh, Balls going down.
It did not work out for Balls. Balls is saying, "Oh no!" Great ult on the bat, doing half his health bar, just to ego him a little bit.
Yeah, I must say it was a great Fear No Evil there on the fight for the Pyromancer after, confirming that they got 2 kills without anyone dying for them.
Man, MK12 is just everywhere, dominating everyone. No one's safe. Here.
Actually aggressing a little bit. I don't know why. You're less than half HP against an Achilles. Running for now. That's actually beats being forced from the Falcon. Falcon will fall down because Bark links in. And now it's MK12 against the world as he's alone. But the Gold Fury being pulled by Dark Crystal in return. They will probably get that if MK12 will fall down. I must hope for Howard the Duck that MK12 falls down. He will fall down to Bark as he gets his double kill. That's the Gold Fury towards Dark Crystal though.
But that is a huge shutdown for Howard the Duck onto MK12.
Yeah, I think Bark got a lot of XP and gold from getting that confirmed kill there on a 6-0 Achilles. As we are looking at the gold difference here and the XP difference, both around 10k. That's quite a bit for 18 minutes into the game. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a lot, yeah. MK12
see-
and Darknms have been facilitating this map wonderfully, and Hay's just been dominating his lane. He's snowballed the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it is Smite in the end of the day. We have seen way crazier comebacks in like the 90-minute games. But do you see any way how the Duck is going to get back into this game?
I think so. I think O'Balls can definitely shut down the Vulcan. He just runs at him. Pat can just delete him with his 2-1 combo, as we've seen multiple times. You focus damage onto the Vulcan, and I think that's a great way to win the fights.
Pat's in a bit of trouble here though.
But
actually,
Cookie-
Hey, who dashed in, will die from a lot of burst damage from the supernova.
Yeah, Joe just landed a
But now-
whole ultimate onto Hay. It was
Yes.
a wonderful
But
time.
now Joe himself in a lot of trouble. Capri ult did run out of its core, so now they are free to be killed. As this fight is still going on, Joe will fall down just now as to MK12. As I think actually Dark got a double kill off themselves here.
Yeah, and
As
AJ's
Capri
gonna
might
die
fall
here.
down. Capri should fall down.
Oh,
No, ooh, just off the bat with the
But
monkey.
MK12 finds it.
gets their own double kill. That's double kill for the respective solo lane and jungler. As they are trying to pull this Phoenix, but not doing anything to it.
They will have
And
wave.
now they're
I think they
retreating.
should just wait here. I think they should just wait and push the Phoenix, but they
They're calling
disagree.
for the fire.
I think that's a good call. I hope they do it. It doesn't really look like they're going to it.
No, they
Nope.
spent 12 minutes doing a red buff, and now most of Howard the Duck has respawns. I don't know if this fire call is that good anymore. They asked their grouping of it, and they haven't backed yet, even though they're trying to. Helmbutts did back, and now Pat might have overstayed a little bit.
I still believe he
Showed
dies.
his
Yeah,
face. Yeah,
great
and gets,
ult.
yeah, gets just absolutely blown up by Vulcan ult, so he does die. Kill credit does go to MK12, who is 9-1 right now. Massive game from the solo laner from Dark Crystal here.
I think the
Ooh.
Rizzler's doing pretty good himself. He's dropped 18k damage in 19 minutes. I think he's doing a lot, and he's really abusing the Yu Huang 3. As soon as the Yu Huang 3s, you can almost hit a guaranteed Vulcan ult because you know where that guy's coming down because he moves so slowly.
Ooh. Oh.
I would have liked to see O'Balls collapse on the Rizzler there, but he.
I
he
feel
didn't
like I'm
think
watching
so.
Awesome Jake. Just a random ultimate there in the middle lane as he will be punished for it, and a double kill with a great polymorph from Hay there as Barkner has the ult out as well. Gets chased down into oblivion. Great stun and a kill confirmed on the taunt by Athena as they're looking at the mid Phoenix now 20 minutes into the game.
Great Fear No
connecting
Evil.
on
Joe's
2 as
dead.
well. There goes Joe.
Pat's
and Pat
dead.
in
That's
trouble.
game.
Pat in trouble
That's-
as well. That's a deicide, and that might be game. Still 2 towers on the game, and they do not have Fire Giant.
But they
they
do have a
might
minion
fall.
wave, and it's certain. I
Ooh.
think they can end it.
The tanks did respawn, so they decided not to go for it just quite yet. They were a bit scared, and they will go for towers for now.
I don't think they're even going for towers. I think they're just full resetting.
Yes.
It looks like Cernos might be doing Pyromancer. No, he's
No.
backing.
the goal per minute I want to look at actually, Power, as I think MK12 is doing some work, having about 180 more gold per minute.
Yeah, he's been farming really well. They've really shut O-Balls out of this game. They're really abusing Horus's very weak laning phase, and they being Darknms and MK12.
Yeah, Obal's being level 12 right now, only 1 level above their support. And actually 3 levels below the enemy support. That must feel so rough. Where Achilles is level 17,
Yeah,
absolutely running people down. Anyone in the team from Howard the Duck right now, except for maybe AJRave, is just pooping their pants whenever they see Achilles running towards them. As Pyromancer will probably fall down towards Dark Crystal here.
and
Gold
Hayes
Fury as
soloed
well.
the Gold Fury again. I would really like to see them go do the Fire Giant.
Yes.
I think that's what they should be doing right now.
Yes, I agree. They probably should be doing Fire Giant. That would be a great call, but instead they look like they're grouping up around mid a little bit as
The
Vulcan is
Rizzler's in
just-
there. he's risen on all 4 of them. He's walking in.
Falcon just ran into the base of Howard the Duck and took half his health and then ran away, forcing his own Athena to ult. I don't know if that's the best play I've ever seen, but I guess it's showing that he does have balls.
Yeah. Oh, Balls isn't even on his team. He's challenging him for the name.
I think so. Oh, great taunt by Athena. As this fight
The Rizzler is frontlining.
In the backline, by the way, can we just talk how in the backline Hayes just soloing Fire Giant right now?
No, we don't need to talk about that. He's going off. He's being an objective king like he's been doing all game.
Well, Fire Giant does fall down towards Dark Crystal now, as Falcon doesn't have it anymore. Falcon did fall down in the end. Probably has to do with him losing half of his HP in the beginning of the battle by walking into the entire team for no reason. But hey,
I don't know. He was
who knows?
frontlining. He was half health and frontlining. That might have something to do with it. He was in there. He was risen on him. No
He
fear.
sure was. Now MK12 seems to be in a bit of trouble, falling down very low. Just a few more basic attacks should do the trick, but he will actually get all his ball is very low himself as AJRave falls down towards Hay. Hay also having a mentally good game right now. I think they won the laning phase completely and then just destroying everything that Howard the Duck is trying to do right now.
Yeah, they found incredible ults every team fight, always setting up multiple kills, burning multiple beads, and they've been soloing every objective on the map. They don't even need a tank.
Because we can see Soul is actually on top of the damage charts here, but I think Hay got 11 kills now by now.
Yeah, 11 kills, 11 and 1. They've been putting out lights out performance on the Cernos, really proving that they don't need magical ADCs to be good.
For sure. As well, I think this game is out of control if you're Howard the Duck. They're holding on to their life as this mid Fenix has respawned. I think it did fall down before, right? It has respawned,
Yes, it
and
did.
now, yes, Vulcan ult.
Great Vulcan ult, great immune by Bark,
Ooh.
but Pat has fallen really low. He needs to disengage out of this fight, so this should be a free Fenix. And the Rizzler blinks in.
Good
He misses.
by Capri
That's
to
very
save his mid laner as Vulcan misses everything again. Petro misses
Execute
it
on
all completely as
AJRave.
well. Execute onto AJRave. Good kill. Fear Evil coming out into
And that's
their
the
own
D-side,
base.
and that's the game.
That's the D side. And like you were saying, that should be game unless they want to be toxic again. Seems like Vulcan does want to be toxic again.
He's
Walking
Rizzling.
into the fountain.
Let him Rizz.
He did die before they got the game, I guess. If I was a captain, I should not draft him, but hey, it's up to the captains themselves.
But he didn't get knocked up by Fire Giant, so
Yeah, that's true.
he will get drafted.
Well, Dark winning game 2. That's the end of this set. Yeah, Dark Crystal, GG. Just a better team, I guess, today.
Some of them. Yeah,
Um,
MK put on a masterclass. Hey, put on a masterclass. The side lanes were really dominating the entire game.
Well, I must say, because I think Ball played very well in the first game, and then he ended level 14 in this one, and I think that's everything I have to say about that. Just a bit of a shame. 0 wards plays down, by the way. 0 wards by both solo laners. That's a given, though. Who do you think is the absolute MVP there here?
Hey, 901.
I'm so happy you didn't say Vulcan.
It might have been the Rizzler. I like how the Rizzler plays. I like his Rizz.
Thank you, Power. Anyways, this was the second game of the set. It did end in a 2-0, so there will not be a third one for this. I do hope you enjoyed it. And, well, captains, I hope you saw someone who you want to pick up on your team. Anyways, I've been Jeffrey. The second game was together with Power and Anthony on cam. Thank you, Anthony. I will see you in the next set. Goodbye.